Hello, everybody. Welcome back, Guru Nation. Welcome back. Meet one of the founders, Latinos in Clinical Research, Ashley Margo. You might have seen her in numerous videos, guest lecturing CRA Academy. Um, Ashley, how's it going and how did you get here?
It's going great. It's going great. I hope it's going good to you. Texas, it's all good in Texas right now, so no complaints. So how did I get here?
Yes. You picked 2020 to get into research. 2020 is the busiest year I've ever seen. We're now at the end of December. It's still not slowing down. Usually I shut down by this time and wait till January, but there's no shutting down.
Yeah.
It's busy and you picked a great year to get in. So how let's talk about your story. Obviously, you're Latina, so you're, near and dear to your heart, Latinos in Clinical Research, the group. That's why you're one of the
Yes.
founders. How did you get into research and why did you pick this year? And why did you also pick this year to say, hey, let's start a group, Latinos in Clinical Research?
For sure, for sure. So, small background. I have over 10 years of clinical industry experience spanning from, home health, hospice to emergency room to clinic and even into public health. And so, coming out of college, I really wanted to gain some exposure that still allowed me to kind of have, that feel of being able to still help patients or subjects, right? And be a part of the innovation aspect of medicine. And after having so many hours, like in the hundreds of shadowing hours and having multiple friends in the clinical industry, kind of realized that it was no longer for me. And I needed to find another way into that. And I kind of stumbled upon clinical research from my previous job where I was a medical assistant. And from there, I did some research and I realized that if I was going to come into this industry, I really needed to, although I had a lot of experience, I needed to really kind of situate myself in the workforce, right? And I needed to get some exposure and also have really good backing as far as where I was working. And so that's why I applied to UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas. And the headquarters was there in Dallas, but I was stationed in Austin. It was in public health, and I met some really amazing people, and I learned a lot. And from here, I was there for about 2 years, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me figure out how I'm going to go about doing this. And I researched and I found you on YouTube. And then I looked through up through IG and so on and so forth. I reached I reached out to you when you were saying that you were here in Austin. And so, my boyfriend at the time was just like, oh, you should reach out to him because I had been talking about you. And I did. We had a video and then
Smart man,
smart man, smart man.
Alejandro.
Yeah. And so, we all went out and we got to know each other, and I was super inspired. And, I told you my journey and I was applying like crazy. And luckily, my first official position was with a major CRO that's global. Feel very fortunate. And coming here today, I just realized that, if I would have had not just the exposure, but the know-how and the guidance, the right guidance from college, from day one, about
Mm,
how there was other options, not just
yeah.
doctor, nurse, or MA or whatever. There are other ways, there are other areas for you to cement yourself and really make a place for yourself and make a dent for people, and
Yeah, good point. I mean, I remember now thinking back on college and even the people I know in college now, they know nothing, like even if they're in STEM, but clinical research is
exactly.
open to everybody. You don't even need a science degree. Yeah, I know people with Bachelor of Arts that are doing clinical research. Really, it should be. Obviously, we can't expect the colleges to teach clinical research. Some of them do, but most are not going to. So, I guess we took it upon ourselves like, hey, we need to get the word out. We're going to start with the people that are already in the industry. Let's unite them around issues surrounding Latinos, but really for all ethnicities. And now let's go,
Yeah.
let's start to go to the schools and see what we can do there because if we get more people as part of our group, Latinos in clinical research, again, any ethnicities, everybody knows somebody in college, right? And so, just like my niece, I know my niece, she would have never think about clinical research if it wasn't for me. But since I'm moving to Arizona, she's there. She is interested in doing research. So it's very grassroots. And I think that you bring up a good point when you say, hey, if you had this network from the beginning, you would have maybe saved some time and been doing this like in 2015 instead of 2020.
Exactly. But I think it's even more than just the network. I feel very deeply about, and I think this is partially also why I feel really strongly about Latinos in clinical research, because, just having turned 30 and, only 3 or 4 years out of college, I'm still very fresh about what I could have used, what would have been helpful for me outside of just network tools and formats and things like that that could have literally laid out my I guess you could say the layout as to how I would move forward with clinical research. And this is something that I personally would like to bring to the organization because, I mean, you know me, I'm very organized. I like things a certain way. I think about things strategically, and have been thinking about some ideas and things like that. And I feel very personally drawn to helping the next generation, because the generation that's right now already in clinical research, or that's already been in clinical research, they have their foot planted already. They just need to keep with it, learn, and use all the tools that they have to move forward, whether they
Oh
want
yeah.
to or not.
Once you're in, and it's
Exactly.
you can see what opportunities are there. But the hard part is getting new people curious about research, because and maybe the pandemic's going to help. Clinical research is front and center now, but I feel like the way clinical research is presented, even now on the news, it always looks like it's some academic institution and they have fancy equipment, and it just looks like it's hard to get in, and it looks like it's unachievable. And we know that that's not the case. But we need to
Exactly.
let others know this.
Yes, and I think it's also the beauty about clinical research. It's not just clinical background, or it's not just you being able to come in and it's clinical based. More so, I mean, research can span out everywhere, and you
Hmm.
can mix clinical and technology through the medical devices. You can mix chemistry and clinical through pharmaceuticals and things like that. So you don't have to just be a biology major or somebody that's just interested in assisting subjects directly. You can also be enjoying the project management side of it, and like what it brings, as a job. So there's just so many options and opportunities that can span even further out than just like STEM. There's just so much. And I think that given how it's such a big boom, it's really important to be able to come to this next generation and say, hey, if your industry right now is not necessarily that of doing so well, there's other options. These are the options. Do the research, hear your resources, come to us, or come to other organizations that are looking to help. You're not alone, kind of a thing. And I personally felt that I was, after college or coming out of college, I was really alone in that process, trying to figure out what works for me, and also trying to find the tools and know what's the resources that were actually good or that weren't outdated, which a lot
Hmm.
of things are. So I think this organization is going to be very useful. I mean, of course, so long as we also have the members involved and reaching out to us and letting us know what they need, because we only can do so much. And if we want to help you as a member or as a future member, we need to know where you're coming from and what we can help and how we can help. And so yeah, it's been a really interesting journey. This year has been great, and the COVID time frame really allowed me to hone in my creativity and network and figure out how I can involve myself in the best way. And I think I found it.
Yeah, and you're just starting out, and you're already making a huge impact in people's lives. I mean, with your CV, which is resume, mentorship, uh, coaching that you offer, and you're a guest lecturer every single CRA Academy. By the way,
Mhm.
we've got another class starting in January, Ashley. So you're gonna have you on again, like February, March ish.
Okay.
They love you. They love you. So keep coming back. you're always bringing like fresh material, and then you've already made impact. I can count like 6 people that I know of off the top of my head that have gotten hired because of your services. So now you guys get access to Ashley all the time in Latinos in clinical research, and we're just trying to
Exactly.
bring the community together. All ethnicities welcome.
Yes.
um, and so anything else that we did not discuss that we want to focus on with Latinos in clinical research?
I think just honing back in what you said about all ethnicities, Latinos in America, global too, but America, we're a huge, huge majority. And so whether you're Latino or not, your job will eventually at some point have interactions with the culture. And so it's super, I think it's very important for you to, or anybody to become educated and what this organization brings and how we can help teach you more than what you already know, or, just get involved and be, network with other members that can be of huge benefit in the future. So
That's right.
anybody and everybody is welcome, and we can all learn together with each other. And I think that's what our core goal is.
You are all welcome. And just like I said on my Instagram today, okay, it's primarily a matter of mindset, followed by networking, followed by education. I do think it's in that order. I think
Yeah,
it's the mindset first, because with that, then you can do anything you want. Then it's the
exactly.
networking, because it's less about what you know than who you know. This is true.
Yeah,
And then it's you got to know what you're talking about if you're going to go into an interview. So you got to have some education also. So those 3 things, I think that's it. If you can focus on those 3 things, you can get a job in the industry. It's just a matter of communicating that to people so they're less fearful about the whole process, because it's not going to be
yeah,
easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy.
exactly.
It wasn't easy for Ashley.
No,
Um,
it was 4 to 6 months of intense focus, which I saw. I believe it was Shaniqua that you just interviewed, and she mentioned
yeah,
that 4 to
that's one of
six
your
months,
clients
and I,
too.
yes, one
She
of my
gave you a
clients,
shout out
and
in the interview.
yes, shout out. And she, when she said, "Oh, I knew what I wanted," I focused for 4 to 6 months, and I said, "Yes, exactly," because when you want to master something, it can be the only thing you master. You can do a bunch of things at the same time, and you can be good at a bunch of things, but you can't master something unless you're fully focused and you have the full intention up front. Well, at least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And so, I think that that's definitely true what you just said.
There we go. I think we can end it on that. But thank you very much, Ashley. Like I said, everybody go to latinosinclinicalresearch.com. I don't care what's your nationality. Go to that website and put your email address in there. We will not spam you. And we're going to let you know about our Zoom calls. And then go to our Instagram, Latinos in Clinical Research. Go to our LinkedIn, Latinos in Clinical Research. Go to our Facebook, Latinos in Clinical Research. Go to our YouTube, Latinos in Clinical Research, and then every podcast too, same name, Latinos Clinical Research. I think people will get it now. I've said it
Yeah.
enough. So thank you, Ashley, very much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Everybody, reach out to Ashley as well, and talk to you all later. Bye bye.
Bye.